Welcome to another edition of the More You Know Co. podcast that's all about the people and places of Northern Colorado. Today, Al and Allie dive into the power of investments and how to build wealth. This episode is sponsored by the Wineland team with RE/MAX Alliance. With over 30 years' experience, you're in good hands with the Wineland team.
Okay, so today we're diving into the power of investments, this article that really caught my eye, especially for anyone who's been thinking about real estate.
Yeah, it's a hot topic. And this article jumps right in, even calls it the only investment you can live in.
I like that. It's catchy. But is it true? Is real estate really such a great investment?
Well, they focus on a big advantage with real estate. It's that equity growth. So you're paying down your mortgage, right? That builds equity. But on top of that, the property value itself is probably going up too.
And that's where that big number comes in from the article, right? They said U.S. homeowners gained something like $17 billion in equity just in 2024.
It was wild. And that averages out to almost $28,000 per homeowner. But here's the thing that was just in the first quarter.
Wow. So are we all about to become real estate moguls? What's driving this?
A few things are at play, like low housing supply, but still high demand. It's a seller's market for sure. Whether it stays this intense, that's debatable, but it shows the potential is there.
It's that long game, though, right? It's not about flipping houses quickly. The article emphasizes that a lot.
Exactly. It's that slow burn, building wealth over years, even decades.
But they don't just talk about real estate. They also talk about this idea of diversification, right? They even mention IRAs and 401ks. And honestly, sometimes all those financial terms kind of make my head spin. Can you break down what they're getting at there?
Absolutely. Think of it like, well, the old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You're spreading your investments out, like the article says, across different options. So that's IRAs, 401ks. You've even got brokerage accounts or 529 plans if you're thinking about like education costs.
So it's about matching those choices to what your own goals are financially.
Exactly. Your portfolio should reflect what you're aiming for, whether it's a comfortable retirement, finally buying that dream home, or setting your kids up for success.
Speaking of goals, one thing I liked is the article doesn't sugarcoat it. They admit saving consistently can be tough.
Especially these days, right? With inflation and unexpected bills popping up left and right, it's a real concern for a lot of people. The article actually brought up a really interesting stat from Yahoo. The average Gen Xer has about $182,100 saved for retirement.
Is that good? Bad? Like, how do we even know what a good amount is at this point?
It's a tough one, honestly. On the one hand, it shows people are saving, which is great. But on the other hand, some financial gurus out there argue that this amount might not cut it to maintain the same lifestyle they're used to once they hit retirement. It really highlights how important it is to figure out your own situation, your own goals.
I guess it's one of those, it depends situations, right? Like everyone's financial picture is different.
Exactly. And that's something the article touched on too, that whole idea of like, they're not financial advisors, right? They even say it outright.
Yeah, which I found kind of interesting since they're, a real estate team. Seems like a bit of a disclaimer there.
It is a little ironic when you think about it, right? But hey, at least they're being upfront about it. And honestly, it's good advice regardless. You wouldn't ask your dentist for fashion advice, would you?
Definitely not.
Same goes for financial planning. It's complex. There are so many factors to consider, and everyone's situation is unique. Having a dedicated expert in your corner can make a world of difference.
So like if someone listening is thinking, okay, this real estate thing sounds interesting, what would you say their next step should be? Should they just like call up the Wineland team who wrote the article or?
Well, it depends, right? If they're specifically interested in Colorado real estate, sure, the Wineland team could be a good starting point. But generally speaking, I'd say the most important step is finding a financial advisor who really understands your situation, your goals, and your comfort level with risk.
Because some people are all about that high risk, high reward thing, right?
Exactly. While others prefer a much slower, steadier approach. And neither is right or wrong. It's all about finding what aligns with your personality and your financial goals.
Yeah, it's like how adventurous are you feeling with your money, right? You get a bungee jump off that investment cliff or take the scenic route.
That's a great way to put it. And a good financial advisor can help you figure out, are you even wired for those bungee jumps? Because some people, they can't stomach the thought, even if there's a chance of a bigger payoff at the bottom.
It's about knowing yourself and what you're comfortable with, ultimately.
Absolutely. And having that guidance, it just makes the whole journey less stressful. Like you've got someone in your corner who speaks the language, can explain all the ins and outs. and help you make those decisions with confidence.
This whole deep dive has been eye-opening, honestly. I feel like we've covered so much ground, from the crazy stats about real estate to the importance of diversifying and finding the right expert to guide you.
It's all connected, right? It all comes back to making smart choices for your future.
And sometimes those smart choices, they're not always about making huge leaps. It's about those consistent little steps that add up over time, like we were talking about with saving.
Exactly. Don't underestimate the power of consistency, even if it feels small at the time. It all contributes to the bigger picture.
Couldn't agree more. Well, if anyone listening is interested in exploring real estate, especially in Colorado, we should probably mention again that the authors of the article we've been discussing, the Wineland team, are ready and waiting to chat.
They'd be happy to hear from you.
And for everyone else, no matter where you are on your investing journey, I hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought, some practical tips, and maybe even a little boost of confidence to take that next step.
Absolutely. It's all about taking control of your financial future one step at a time.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone.
It's been a pleasure being here.
And until next time, happy investing.